Cortisol is a hormone made by the adrenal glands. It gets produced in response to stress and low blood glucose. It's part of the body's hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, and it plays a very important role in regulating metabolism by promoting something called gluconeogenesis. It controls inflammation and the immune response. And obviously, it's very important for managing the stress response, increasing things like alertness and blood pressure. It is also very important for maintaining the circadian rhythm. Cortisol peaks in the morning and it declines throughout the day. So cortisol is a very important hormone, and you should not think of it like a bad thing. It has a very important role to play. But here's what most people don't understand. Chronically elevated cortisol from poor sleep, overtraining, or chronic stress can lead to HPA axis dysfunction. And this increases your risk for immune system problems, metabolic diseases, and cardiovascular issues. For anyone serious about performance, very high chronically elevated cortisol levels are not good. High level of cortisols all the time basically translates to muscle loss and fat gain, and especially visceral fat around your organs. High levels of cortisol also lower testosterone, make you have poor recovery, and make your immunity worse. So I don't want to waste your time. You are here to learn about cortisol. Let's get into it. There are a lot of things you can do to lower your cortisol. But one of the most powerful ways to manage cortisol is to get good sleep. Bad sleep will put you into a high cortisol state. And it's not surprising, because cortisol, one of its jobs is to give you more energy, help you be more alert and awake. And just as important as sleep is getting your circadian rhythm in check. Sleep and circadian rhythm go hand in hand. Cortisol follows a natural circadian rhythm, reaching its highest levels in the morning to help you wake up, and its slowest levels in the evening. So if you mess up your circadian rhythm by blasting blue light into your eyes before bed, or screwing up your sleep schedule, or eating and exercising right before bed, your circadian cortisol release will be disrupted. So if you want to lower your cortisol levels, you should start by fixing your circadian rhythm and your sleep. And there are many ways to fix your sleep, but one of the best ways to do that is to reduce your usage of your phone a couple hours before you want to go to sleep. Try to have a schedule that you follow with when you go to bed and when you exercise, and your exercise should not be right before bed or within a couple hours. It should be way before bed. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and silent, and this should help you improve your sleep and improve your cortisol levels. And when you fix that, it will help you improve other metrics in your life, like muscle growth, more calm mind, less anxiety throughout the day. So fix your sleep and circadian rhythm. Now, moving on from sleep and circadian health, stress management techniques are super important. Chronic physiological stress is one of the main causes of elevated cortisol. There have been a lot of studies on this, and techniques like mindfulness and meditation are all very effective, and they show a moderate decrease in cortisol. Now, I used to believe that meditation is something useless. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not the best guy at meditating, but it has huge benefits for your body, for your health, and especially for your cortisol levels. So I'm, trying to get better at implementing meditation as part of my day, just like for 5 and 10 minutes to begin with, and then me and you can increase the bar later. The right way to focus on mindfulness and meditation is to focus all of your attention on just one thing, like your breath. Mindfulness has been shown to lower baseline cortisol, so you are less stressed in general throughout the day, and it also reduces the size of cortisol spike that you experience during acute stress. So if you're in a stressful situation, like you are stuck in traffic, a regular mindfulness practice will lower your cortisol response, so you are not massively stressed in those moments. Mindfulness will activate the parasympathetic system, or rest and digest system, which is the opposite of the sympathetic system, your fight or flight nervous system. So it really calms you down. Another thing that I found super funny when I was researching for this video is that laughter is actually very powerful in reducing cortisol. Laughing can reduce cortisol by over 30%. So make sure that you are having a little bit of fun sometimes. Now, moving on from stress management techniques, another way to really lower your cortisol is exercise. Now, in the moment, exercise will definitely spike your cortisol. And some people see this as a reason to avoid exercising because they believe that humans should avoid all forms of stress entirely, anything challenging. But in reality, exercise is the good kind of stress. It produces desirable adaptation in the brain and in the body, like lowering your baseline cortisol and improving stress tolerance. That is if it's done in moderation. Overtraining will also elevate your cortisol, but overtraining is something that only happens to professional athletes, and it really rarely happens to regular people like you and me. So if I was you, I wouldn't be worrying about overtraining. Just exercise. Have a weekly session. Have a training program where you exercise a couple times a week. Get your heart rate up, and you will see a decrease in cortisol. And when you have lower cortisol, you will get better sleep. And when you get better sleep, your cortisol levels will get better. So let's move on to the next part. Diet. What you eat, when you eat, and how much you eat can all affect your cortisol levels. You should avoid massive or prolonged calorie deficit. Fasting can be a very useful tool, and I could probably make hundreds of videos about what fasting does to your body. But if you're not really knowing what you're doing when you're fasting, it can increase your cortisol in order to make up for the energy deficit. You also need to stay hydrated because dehydration is also a stressor that can increase your cortisol, and try to not overdo caffeine. So that was today's video on cortisol, and remember, you don't want to completely tank cortisol to zero. It is a hormone that is very, very important and it has a purpose in the body. But if it's elevated and you are chronically stressed and you think that you won't benefit from having lower levels of cortisol, the things that I've talked about will definitely help you. So yeah, subscribe.